And then some sticks out the forward one string. Tries to anti-air. Joker's down 2. It has great range, but it's a bit slow compared to some of the other uppercuts. A little bit slow there from Fox. Half-life down, rewind in a decent position. And they're just going to back up and disengage for a minute, but he's right back in. Clean anti-air. Knockdown pressure. Sticking out that forward one again. And the down 2 trade. Great damage and a favorable trade here. He's going to challenge. Sense of respect.
Wow, you were talking about a challenge? They're swinging this down 2 by Rewind, but what a wonderful tech to keep themselves right started. And right into the fatal. That happened so quick.
That was such a clean answer, and by all accounts, that should be game over. What a decision there from Fox to interrupt. The knowledge. The knowledge.
Sensational match between the two, and you see Sonic there saying, I don't know about a Mercy this time around.
Too close for comfort, I think.
Body stick high, never gets old.
Just waiting for it. There it is. Have the luxury of just hearing it in your ear. Perfect. But I mean, overall, that was just a fantastic series. The change to Johnny Cage clearly worked out here. It's just the range more than anything else. These two characters, Johnny Cage and Jackie, they are two characters that are kind of ruling the roost of the tier list, right? The thing about that is, if you're Sonic Fox, you're going to get as much experience as you possibly can on a daily basis. It's a matchup that you've played 1,000 times already. So, a lot of comfort there coming out from Fox. And you saw some matchup-specific choices that were made, the most notable thing being the very last play to interrupt Rising Star, just to go through Fatal Blows and play. Joker has one of the fastest ones in the game.
And that right there, the Fatal Blow cancel going into the 1-2, thinking that the throw was going to come, so Rewind did the micro duck and then got hit by the 2, set all of that in motion. Sonic coming out swinging, Rewind a little late on the adaptation, but almost brought that all the way back. Almost had ourselves another Game 5. Still sensational across the board.
Really goes to show why having multiple characters locked and loaded does make a big difference in a competitive setting. If you can have characters that just bring a different style of play to the table, or just something that is leaps and bounds, no pun intended for Jackie, I guess, but that final play, so smart to just interrupt. Looked a little bit like the range was just too far away. It's safe on block, yeah, but if it fails to connect, then you can still interrupt at the end of the day.
That is right. Coming up next, we're going to have Noble Combat versus PXP of Foxy Grandpa. And both of these guys had some comfortable wins coming into the second round here in this final combat. No one eliminated yet, by the way. Everyone is still alive, and every single match is going to be streamed, so you guys are in for a nice long day of Mortal Kombat here at Final Combat.
But I mean, I think Combat's just getting used to.
That's a lot of Combat. Combat's playing. My bad there.
That's exactly my point, because Combat's up next. But this matchup is, I can't recall the last time these two players actually went head-to-head. But it's a clash of generations. Combat is, without question, kind of like the more modern generation of NetherRealm players. Really kind of made a name for himself in the online world of Injustice 2. You know, shouts to Combat Cup and you guys running all that back in the day. But that was kind of the first thing that let him dip his toes into competitive, and he went all guns blazing into MK11. But if we're talking about legacy, Foxy is as old school NRS.
If there's
he's been around since 2011 and he's still going. He's been top
first
level
ballot Hall of Fame. Right there is a Foxy Grandpa. Has been doing it since the beginning and has been incredibly consistent and at the top since. And that's something you can't say about an awful lot of people here in this competitive community.
And it's for me, even more impressive over the fact that NetherRealm games, they change. I mean, with the exception of Injustice 2, which is very much legacy with new mechanics.
Mortal Kombat is a different game almost every single time,
so
from the ground up.
To be super top level and very successful in every single one says a lot about your ability to just pick up those new mechanics and how important those Mortal Kombat fundamentals can carry you. I honestly have no idea how to call this one. Combat plays a whole bunch of different characters. Foxy really going into this tournament with exclusively Shang Tsung with a little bit of Kung Lao. The Kung Lao is matchup dependent. I know he's kind of made himself famous with Kung Lao, especially hat tricks, but Shang Tsung's one of his favorite characters too. He always says shouts to Mortal Kombat Conquest, the TV show that literally determined that Shang Tsung and Kung Lao would forever be his favorite characters. True story. Very weird though. I respect it.
Yeah, you have to respect
I respect it.
Coming into this, going up against Combat, who plays probably half the roster, but has been coming here primarily with that Johnny Cage, which I think is a matchup that Shang Tsung players, when you think about Johnny Cage, it's one that's playable. Able to play that zoning game. You're going to see Foxy. You saw in his first match implement Foxy's strategy incredibly well. Very keep away heavy, very throw heavy in his mix-ups, but when he chooses to do his offense is what makes him so unique, is that he'll play the lamest you'll ever see, and then at a moment's notice, he'll get incredibly aggressive on you, and you aren't ready for it almost every single time.
The magic word to describe Foxy's playstyle is discipline. A lot of players out there they're not really prepared to be as patient. I mean, you can pay attention to the way Foxy plays. Sometimes he will sit there and do literally nothing.
It is
will
very
do absolutely
aggravating.
nothing and just wait for you to do something and react accordingly. Shang Tsung, an amazing character, especially in Warlock, at just forcing something out of you. The thing about Johnny Cage is he's got range and he's got fireballs too. This could be an extremely long-range game.
I think that the name of the
that's how
game
both
here
players
is going to
wanna
be
go.
discipline. It's
Yeah.
going to be how can Combat handle that playstyle? Can he implement his own? Because Foxy's a very hard player to implement your own game plan against, and that's what I see out of Foxy so much. Being able to control the pace of the match. He's so good at it. You know, both of us have played against him. It's frustrating, very frustrating. I'm not going to vent it here, but I can't wait to see this match go down.
I have no idea how to call this one. Combat is really on quite a tear for
Yeah,
such a
he
young
is.
player.
He
as
is.
well. He's one of our youngest competitors in the pro competition.
One of the youngest.
He doesn't look like it, but
I
let's
know.
never forget it. It's
He
very
is.
impressive.
He's been on fire here a little bit lately, winning a bunch of big online events. You know, coming into this, didn't have the best finish to the pro competition season.
Once upon a time, I beat Shinnok.
You have a colorful imagination.
Look it up. I laid him out.
So Shang Tsung
Ooh.
totally did not believe him there. That's rude.
But, you know, Combat, ECT, NEC, the last two premier events of the pro competition, didn't have the results that he wanted, but started to pick things up. You know, there was that long break a few months before Final Combat began and really started to kind of refine himself. That's why he finds himself here on the winner's side of this bracket.
But Foxy lies in wait on the other side of the bridge saying, you want to come across this bridge, mate? Get through all these ground eruptions. And so far, Foxy, a decent lead, but got to watch out for the range. That's really the game of footsie we're looking for. Foxy, he's going to play projectiles, but he's going to keep his eye on Johnny Cage's mid. Low profiling right there. The low profile is such a dangerous tool. Amp again, just for a full combo set, full screen combat. The second fatal blow becomes a possibility. Cage can expand, but the forward two with punish, and just keeping it unbreakable. Spend the crushing blow, get rid of it, and a very comfortable round one for the boy from the UK.
And if there is any weakness of Johnny Cage, it's when you can finally, and I mean when you can finally get that character to whip, just like you saw there. And you have the reactions and punish that Foxy had on deck. Now he's letting the bodies hit the floor here. It's nothing but metal here at Final Combat.
I mean, he's going in for so many corpse drops. And so far, you have to remember, so much damage for a single corpse drop that it's one of the better projectiles in the entire game. Staggering the 1-1. You respect the 1-1-4, the 1-1-2 opens up these free grabs. It's either heal from forward throw, full screen from reverse, active frames of the down 4.
Or that with the 1-1, trying to bait you out of reading that throw.
And now here comes Foxy, thrown out again, respect, but probably expecting the overhead follow-up. All right, a nice grab. Think about Johnny Cage, he sends you pretty far away for a successful grab, and that's kind of where Shang Tsung wants to be. He doesn't, though, want to be in the corner. Foxy.
Ooh, no fear, just swing it out.
That is not as easy as it
It
looks.
is very difficult to do, and to do it on the world stage, Foxy.
All right,
Look at Strong here, the whip! Oh, no, was that a whip or a block? I couldn't even tell. It was right in his face.
I think he just slightly misjudged the range of that Shadow Kick.
It looked like it was
100%.
right here in his face.
But misjudging the range of it, and some moves from combat that looked a little bit desperate, a little bit of desperation. Problem is, yeah, he's going to get us. This is exactly what Shang Tsung wants.
That's
you
exactly
to do.
what Foxy wants to do.
Yeah.
He's all about frustrating you, and the moment that you're frustrated, it's almost as if you've defeated yourself.
No, he's changed to Geras. This is a straight-up counter pick in some ways. There are a lot of Shang players out there that say they do not like this matchup, especially if it's going to be Infinite Warden, which Combat has gone with.
That's right.
Remember, the Sand Trap, it trades favorably. You become invincible, you don't really have to eat projectiles anymore, and then Shang has to really play your game. This matchup, I mean, you can win any matchup, but this one, a little bit tricky. Unfortunately, though, for Combat, getting clipped by the 1-1-4, going in for the charge, just to keep the corner positioning. And he's
Foxy
going to respect the frames of forward 2-4.
Has a lot of knowledge about Gears as well. This is one of Foxy's pocket characters that we've seen him break out, even in tournament. We saw it during the Intercontinental.
Whoa! And he gets the combo as well. Doesn't want to go in for the ground eruption. It's a bit funky to combo that in the corner. Unless you're just outside of it, it will actually whiff, so you don't really get a lot of damage here.
Going for the jump kick, the
The
whip,
whip.
jumped himself into the
It's
corner.
the positioning Aquaman. That's not where Foxy wants to be. What an interrupt! And he waits for the breakaway. Doesn't
is-
want to spend it.
If-
Oh!
That was an Infinite Warden specific blow up by a Foxy Grandpa. Sensational read right there. That was Combat trying to throw that out and, you know, reestablish his turn with that gauntlet. In Infinite Warden, there's going to be a big gap, but it is plus on block and take it away. And I didn't know he had the judo chop loaded.
As long as you're going to be whipping those sand traps, eventually you're going to get a crushing blow sooner or later. And right now, probably a neutral duck there from Foxy. Getting clipped by the raw forward 2, no counter hits he had. Oh, tries to go for a down 2, I can imagine, off that cross-up, but the body splash have another planned.
Tried to do a back-to-back. That's pretty hard against the active frames of that splash coming in. It's going to be another one. No, we're going to get some Geras loops to take the round.
This is really the kind of matchup change and why Combat's gone in with Geras. He really wants to just blow through projectiles to avoid trading. And this is why. This is the one move that makes this matchup a bit tricky here. Foxy waiting for his turn. He's going to take him the low. Oh, neutral jump could have been a lot more, but Foxy or Combat, neither player committed.
Big whip there.
Magnet arm, plus frames, no flawless block, and the wonderful flawless block out here, breaking, causing the breakaway there from Foxy.
The longer this pro competition has gone along, the more we're starting to see that higher level gameplay catch up. And here at the World Finals, we're seeing it on its best display possible. Wonderful hit confirmation here, no breakaway. This be some big ol' Geras damage. The crushing blow out of the corner. He wants to put Foxy on life alert here.
Okay, wake up. We're gonna get a tiny bit of life back against Geras, though. Not really gonna help you too much. And a wonderful throw escape.
Oh, another
Great
one.
Tech. And a down one. Oh my god, this is the opening he needs.
They give us no too late on the fatal blow.
But I feel like that would have had a better chance at working if he breakaway.
Yeah.
Because remember, breakaway, you're actually in the air for a little bit
He actually may
longer.
have read that, which was unfortunate.
It's the small thing that some people miss, right? Where if you're launched by mostly crushing blow launches, if you don't do a breakaway, you fall a little bit faster. Now, yeah, the change. He's gone in with Kung Lao. Geras is one of the matchups that he does not pick Shang into. And this is going to be a game of constantly going back and forth with characters, because the fact is, Combat plays one of the characters that forces you to pick Kung Lao. And in this situation, if Foxy were to win this with Lao, if he wins it convincingly, Combat's probably going to change away, and it's going to inspire a Shang pick again. Yeah, there's going to be an immense back and forth.
Is this our first counter pick war here at Final Combat? If you want to get here, the Z-Hat thrown out, and this is a variation that you really only see out of Foxy here in the later stages of the tournament.
Right, tries to wake up roll, but it's going to get chased down by the grab. Combat looking nice and comfortable. Geras, he can go through all the patches in the world, but that mix-up of middle grab remains the same. Tries to test the waters with the teleport. We know now that ain't going to work.
Yep.
Unlikely Foxy's going to go to it a few
Put
more
that card,
times.
put that card back in the sleeve for another day.
I see you are a man of culture as well. Oh no! Forward 2 clips him again. And Combat, this Geras pick just paying for itself at the moment. Doesn't get the full combo, but a bleak situation for Foxy. Goes for it just in case, but realistically that round was already over.
Yes, almost shades of Combat from that game number 1, where we're actually starting to see the frustration possibly out of Foxy.
I mean, Geras is a character you'd never expect him to be defensive, but he can be. Some of the best backwards movement in the whole game. And he's going to sit and respect. Ooh, the duck. No answer there from Foxy, though. Looking for it. Forward 4. Really loves that mid. This one can be looped thanks to the speed of Kung Lao's down 3, but this time, no, you expect you thought.
It looked like he baited Combat into trying to interrupt it. You know, he put those frames out there, the startup frames, the cancellation. Absolutely beautiful. From Foxy, the big read from Combat in the down 2.
If you're going to play as grab heavy as Foxy does, you can be prepared to win a whole round on grab, but you got to be prepared to lose it. It's that double-edged sword effect. The damage.
Look at that, off of a down 2 crushing blow, still hitting for 520 damage. And now next to, whoa, last second breakaway, and now we have a fatal blow. We're in territory for it for the victory.
Absolutely clutch, and the fatal blow's in play.
Oh,
my god! You know, if that's pre-patch, that might have worked. But thankfully, in the recent change, remember, the armor of fatal blow activates on frame 8 rather than 5.
I'm not even sure he had the health in that situation to absorb that.
I mean, I think it was a risk he was going to take. However, knocked down again, damage, and what's the play? Just sits and respects it. Nice and patient there from Combat. The ball's really in Foxy's court to make something happen here. Realistically, in this game of a counter-pick war, you kind of need to win a game each. That first win matters so much here that if Foxy interrupts 2-1-2-1-2, boys.
Yeah, come out breaking it like Gauntlet, maybe a little too much here.
All right, here we go.
Foxy
grab
on the offense. What's Twist going to be? Throws out that Z-Hat plus 8,422 and going into the throw.
I mean, the down 2, I believe, has already been used. So he's kind of like, well, you've already used one of the big punishes here. Not as much to fear, although this is infinite. One damage! Whip and another grab! Reverse! Knockdown. It's a scary position for Combat. So real. And let's not forget! And the confirm. Ouch! That's it, Foxy. This game of counterpick, you have to take it one match at a time. Whoever wins the first game kind of gets that advantage because you get the final counterpick. If Foxy lost that game, he would be the one in a terrible position. Now, Combat's got to make a hard choice here. Does he stick with Geras? Or does he just go for something? Because he plays so many characters. Of all the players that exist in this top 16 bracket, Combat plays the most characters. And that says a lot with someone like Tekken Master in the bracket.
I would say, given how that last match went, I would almost say stick with Geras with how close that was.
Oh yeah, that just came down. Honestly, that just came down to what Foxy does in hat tricks. Forces you to guess. He's going to do Z-Hat, and at close range, it's going to be a mid, or it's going to be a grab. Kung Lao, thanks to the 1-2 auto shimmy working the way it does, means you don't have to quite dedicate to forward 4 like you did before, which makes that grab versus button game a lot scarier, because 1-2-1 on block, 1-2 comes out. On hit, 1-2-1 comes out. There's no hook confirm needed, it just does the work for you. But if Foxy wins this will be a great result for him.
I think that Combat's making that decision of, it was close, if I'm able to overcome it, you know, probably gives himself the best chance at victory here, you know, rather than risk potentially being counterpicked in that game number 5.
Well, if he were to win this
no matter
game,
what, this is betting it all here.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins this game, Foxy can't exactly go back to Shang, because it's a matchup he doesn't want to play. Immediately clipping him with that forward 2 in combat, scoring first blood and forcing an early breakaway. Really kind of best case scenario. Foxy, with loads of life to spare, goes for an interrupt that doesn't quite work out. Minimal punishment on the gauntlet, and here's the grab.
Ready for the escape, and has gotten hit from every single time. The 4-2-1 has combat. We go into the corner. No, a little bit.
Clean ender. 32% into knockdown. Yes, please.
That ender giving him kind of premium Oki situation for him. It's another hit confirmed. No breakaway available for Foxy.
Yeah,
and that is going to do it.
Bit of an awkward round for Foxy there. Swinging buttons, individual buttons that were whiffing, not connected, and just whiff punished immediately. Combat. That was just really his round through and through.
It was really that one whiff punish that just set everything in motion for combat. Here comes another one, the judo chop. What's for breakfast here?
Oh, finally a throw second out from Foxy, but dash into grab. Taste of your own medicine right here.
And that is the mix-up. You talked about it earlier. You know, we were kind of off stream and saying that that's been the mix of a walk-up, mid or throw.
Oh, wow. Not sure what that was from Foxy. I'm assuming the down 2 was not what he was after. Been a bit of a ropey game from him so far, and combat been taken full advantage. Knocked into the corner, but he still has the life lead. Foxy's the one under pressure. He's got to make a choice here.
It's almost. Oh my goodness, the execution.
Oh my! I'm not sure that's what he wanted.
This is insanity.
Well, you know what, that ain't combat's problem. He's going to get a full combo here. Get an ender 2, knockdown. Doesn't really matter the final
pistol. The short hop kick, you never see that.
Oh my god, what is going on? The whip dive kick as well? This is absolute madness, Aquaman. But wait a minute, the fatal blow.
Beyond looking for fatal blow. Here goes up with the throw. And you know what Foxy wants to do here? Throw it again. Throw it on the head. You're going to get the confirmation. Oh no!
What was that? I don't even know.
That was supposed to be forward 4.
Had to be. Oh, no,
had to be.
How do you forward 4 and down 4 come out? That was, I think, one of the... I've never seen that input error in my life. That's a first. That's definitely a first right there. That was going to be a forward 4. That was going to be a fatal blow combo into round win. Thank you very much. But it goes to show, like, this level of play, it can happen to anyone. There was
a lot of scrambles in that round, in that corner. There was a lot of side switching. There was a lot of drops, a lot of...
I mean, I feel like right now, Slayer is just going, hey, bro, don't do that. Don't do that again. You know, when you want to do forward 4, just press forward and 4. No, not down 4, dude. That doesn't come out.
If I was a coach, I would just say don't lose.
That's the kind of advice Foxy would give you.
It's so easy.
To be fair.
I don't know why more people don't do it.
Whenever someone asks Foxy, how do I become a better player, his common answer is, don't get hit, bro.
I think that was one of his notes coming into Final Combat.
Oh, of course. Whoa. Now, Nightwolf, this is a character from Foxy we have not seen in a while.
In quite some time.
Very unorthodox
I just heard the entire crowd starting up the ooze.
I don't think anyone expected this pick. However, it fits his game plan of grab versus button.
Oh, they're all howling. Our entire crowd here is howling right now for Nightwolf. Are we going to get that win pose? Are we going to be howling at the moon? It tries it down 2 again, and the punishment to start off our game number 5.
I am quite fearful about this change. I don't know how... Oh, hang on, 1-1-1. Immediately forcing a breakaway, and that basic game begins. 1-1-1, an amazing auto shimmy. I think a grab through the company commits to the end. Mayhem from combat, the full risk, but it does pay off, and it just throws off your comfort zone. You think it's your turn, you have to wait for it. If the sand trap doesn't come out, and he's making all the right reads.
That was one of the most combat things I've ever seen. Get hit by a poke, and what's your response? Hold up, the kick in the door. Gets him with the choke.
Match point now for combat. This Nightwolf pick, we need to see something come out of it now, but so far, all that's really happened is that clean 1-1-1 at the start, and that's kind of it. Combat has made some wonderful reads, forcing these kind of reverse guesses onto Foxy the exact same way. 4-2-1, the jump, no full combo, and reactionary block, I like it.
And you know, all the conditioning of those gauntlets is what kind of let him get away with that 4-2-1-2. You know, Nerf has the gap, lets it rip there, and still gets a 126 off of that. Reset of the neutral. That's a good dead Yoffis. The micro crouch. I didn't even see it.
That is the fastest micro crouch I have ever seen.
He didn't move.
And the 1-1. Iron defense here from Combat. Foxy almost went in for a whip punish there, but didn't the last minute clean out here. And there's the uppercut. Rhino charge to end. Oh, wait for the whip! I want you to press. And thank you very much. Rhino charge knockdown. Combat, is he going to swing? Is he going to swing the whip? Patience!
It's Foxy the one that misspaces the jump kick and getting pushed by Combat, where he sees some massive damage here. Double fatal blow territory.
And now fatal blows in play. If Combat hits him once, that's it. He's going to win the round and the game. But Foxy, what's the play? Both players can confirm quickly. Watch out for the whip. This is so scary for both players. Foxy needs this round desperately.
Oh my goodness!
He's still good. One more guess. Guess for game, boys.
That was the risk. It's going to be minute grab. No, the backup!
Oh, no!
Didn't hit confirm in a fatal blow, and just like that, it was two of them catch up where he had round winners right here in front of him, and it's the execution that's not gonna do it for Foxy. Combat gonna take it 3-2, another game 5.
In Foxy's defense, forward 1-2 outside of the corner doesn't combo into fatal blow, it whiffs. The forward 1-2 knocks them too far away, and the fatal blow misses completely. It's why Foxy didn't confirm. He had the knowledge there, but just the wrong confirm at the end of the day. Combat getting that final win at the last minute. One of our closest sets of the day for sure. But by no means, remember, this is double elimination. No player that's lost so far is out permanently. And that's Combat really showing, I think, both players, why having multiple characters can work. I don't think anyone was expecting the Nightwolf change. It almost worked, but Combat, he was just ready. That change to Geras meant absolutely everything to him.
And, you know, it wasn't just the switch to Geras. It was the decision not to switch off of him. You know, it was saying it was close. All I had to do is do it just a little bit better, you know? And that belief in himself, that belief in the character, really did it for him in the end. But, you know, coming out of the gate, Foxy, looking strong. It was the adjustments by Combat, and Combat coming in, you know, with that 16th place, is doing some work here, and there was the down 4, the heartbreaker.
That is the biggest heart. I can't watch it back, honestly. It's just one of the worst kind of errors you can possibly go for, where it is a simple button that you didn't get. If he just got the forward 4, who knows? But that's just the way it works, right? It's not just avoiding mistakes, but when you finally make a crucial error like that, how do you recover?
Yeah, we've all been there too. That was a big whiff by Combat, and this is where Foxy starting to come alive here. Got him to the corner. Combat just fought his way out,
and right there, he knows the breakaway. That's the tricky
because
position.
he wasn't actually in the corner, right?
Yeah,
because
and then
the fatal blow would have just whiffed, and he would have got punished anyway.
And it was the combination of the popular breakaway too. So if you get hit by the uppercut tomahawk, you have breakaway available. You waste the bar, so you kind of had to bait it out and then go for a second play. So close. I mean, if he was this much closer to the corner, things could have been different. But it's just about how Combat recovered from the situation, and he just had the higher clutch, really.
Did Combat right there at the end, you know, after the breakaway, did he just come up with a 1-1 on wake up?
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
It would surprise me one bit.
It's a very common.
There was a couple things that happened in there. You know, if you guys watch a lot of those online tournaments that these guys were competing in, or even throughout the pro competition, they make big reads. You know, high risk, high reward with the way that they have the confidence in themselves to wake up with a 1-1, wake up with a 1-2. Because I don't have that confidence, if I'm being honest with you. And I'm sure a lot of you at home don't as well. It's not an easy decision to make, but these guys just know when to do it. It's just Jedi mind reads at this point.
Okay, so our next matchup, Dragon versus Deoxys. It's a matchup that Dragon has already played against Nivek, so it's extremely likely to be upgraded again coming out from Deoxys. And it's another one of those cases where upgraded Jackie, she's a very common character and she's popular in competitive play, but Deoxys was one of the very first really kind of championing that character. It goes back to his legacy and, you know, mostly in Justice 2. He was said to be really the most talented Blue Beetle that the community had. Blue Beetle had lots of hover mix-ups, lots of jumps.
I actually never put 2 and 2 together with those two, you know, kind of giving him what he was used to in a tool set from his previous title.
But it's the kind of character that will fit Deoxys like a glove. The second Geras kind of underwent quite a few changes. The character was changed to something that Deoxys didn't really originally learn the character for. So Jackie was kind of the next logical step as soon as a super jump existed anyway. And he has become one of the absolute best upgraded players on the planet. But it's a matchup that a lot of people are familiar with at this stage, and Dragon will be one of them.
I'm also looking here. I don't believe that these two played on the pro competition. I don't know how much familiarity is between these two, but I know that coming into this, Dragon knew his path, looked ahead. We actually had him on when we were doing a little bit of a pre-show, and said that he almost self-predicted and put the most work into Upgraded, and we saw that there in that first game. And now we're going to see a little bit more of that knowledge on display here against Deoxys. It says he's coming in with a lot of secret stuff for Jackie, but Deoxys, one of the young and up-and-comers of our community.
I think it's just a celebration of young talent in the NetherRealm scene. Deoxys is one of those players, and MK11 has kind of birthed this new generation of fighting game players that are crazy talented. They have a crazy amount of tournament clutch, but the fist bump goes in. We're jumping into our next matchup here. Final combat.
That was the
World
first 50-50 of the match, by the way, whether it was going to be a fist bump or a handshake. Starting off guessing, here we
We've all
go.
been there.
Second round of the winners quarterfinals. Dragon versus Deoxys. Active frames out there. We're starting off with a bang.
And then some. Doesn't want to potentially quite pull the trigger on the crushing blow just yet. Crushing blow launchers, some players will leave it on the table just because breakaway is available. You don't want to waste the damage. But now, looks like Dragon is going all guns blazing right here. And another poke. A good amount of damage to start things off. And the last minute cross up, Dragon ready for it, and just showing a high level amount of patience. And throw techs, that's what you got to look at with Dragon. He has some of the craziest throw techs in the entire scene.
Oh, Dragon thought he could get away with the stagger right there because of all the threats after. That 4-2-3 wall could come, Hell's Wrath could come. Heck, anything from this character. Away teleport, everything that you're looking for. So to get the punish, we saw that by Deoxys, and we saw Dragon implement that jump back one an awful lot earlier against Nivik, just to cover the leap in, and even on a whiff can get out of Hell's Wrath, just to kind of cover two options there in the air.
Extra damage, real estate. Nice amount of matchup knowledge, really, with Dragon. Gonna take that first round, but easily clipped by the neutral jump from Deoxys. He's gonna get a full combo, keep the corner position. Doesn't quite get the final hit, but the bulk of the damage was done. Unfortunately, though, here's a stun. And Dragon, once more, wants to keep things as unbreakable as physically possible. Nice amount of damage. Deoxys currently on the offense. The grab's gonna be good. He needs plenty more where that came from.
Oh my.
And now he'll do it.
2 for 2 going through the wall, and that was absolutely sensational.